up, everybody? Brett Okamoto from ESPN. I have the pleasure to speak with UFC interim lightweight champion Justin Gaethje, who, unless you've been living under a rock, you know he's going to be fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 254. We're about a month away, Justin. Wanted to speak to you now, so we didn't have to bug you as the fight gets closer. How are you feeling a month out from this fight?
I feel great. Biggest opportunity of my life, man. I've been putting work in for 8 weeks now, so my body feels great. Sore, tired, but I feel great.
Yeah, I mean, I got to imagine that it's kind of a combination of like the best time and the worst time in your life, because you're preparing for the biggest fight of your life. But the training camp, and all your training camps are hard. But is this one like? Does it feel harder just because you know what type of fight Khabib normally brings?
Yeah, I would say so. I think the pressure is always something that we deal with as fighters. I think it's what makes or breaks most of us. That pressure of going out there and performing. So yeah, I mean, getting up every morning and knowing that I'm fighting Khabib definitely lights a fire under my ass. Makes me push myself a little more, which in turn makes my body a little more tired. So yeah, it's been grueling, but it's been great. We're at a very similar place to where I was when they called me to fight Tony right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna do a lot of the same things I did that time and try to be perfect.
Is that really what it feels like? You wake up in the morning and your first thought is Khabib Nurmagomedov? Is that how it is?
No, it's not. It's not him, but it is the opportunity that is ahead. Mm-hmm. Pressure's on me. It's always you versus you. That's mm-hmm. something I always say. So yeah, I really just need to get up and make sure again work harder than yesterday. Make better choices, be more consistent.
Is it like that feeling that I think we watch a lot of movies in this culture, and it's like, does it feel like this is what my entire life has been building to? Like we are at like the end part of the movie here. Like, is that what it feels like when you're living it?
I mean, so I guess probably, but I can never look at it like that. Like this is really, I wouldn't say the end. This is once I can get this title. I mean, being a defending champion is more important to me than a lot of things. So that would be huge. So this wouldn't be the last step. That would be this close to the last step though.
Well, this would be the end of the first movie, and then the sequel is defending the championship, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's been crazy. 4 years old. It really is pretty. If I was to sit back and then take it all in, then yeah, this is absolutely the pinnacle of everything that I've been working for my whole life. Not just me, but my parents. Mm-hmm. My brothers, my brother, my sisters, they've been on this ride. Not to mention the countless people that I have, crossed paths with throughout my life. Whether I wrestled them, beat them, they beat me. They might not remember that they wrestled me. I don't remember 98% of the people that I competed against. So, I wouldn't hold it against them, but I'm sure there's some people out there that competed against me or on a team that I competed against that are on this ride with me. So it's pretty cool. And when I get that win on October 24th, I know how special of a feeling I will put into so many people's heart. And that's special for me. That's definitely something that I'm striving for.
Yeah, and that is what's cool about a situation like this, is a guy who, I mean, you're a veteran of the sport. It's not like you're 26 and getting your first title shot. It's like, do you think that gives you a little bit of a psychological edge that this is like the biggest fight of your life, and he's kind of looking at it as like, well, every fight's the biggest fight of his life, but he is not coming in with that hunger of like, I got everybody who's been coming and encountered with me over the course of my lifetime has led up to this moment. Do you think it's an advantage?
No, I don't think it's an advantage. That would be like saying once I win the belt, I'll become complacent. I know Khabib is not that person. So for people like me and him, it's really just another fight, that's going to define our legacy. And that's what me and him are both here for.
Yeah. Well, tell us what the camp looks like. Give us an idea of how you are preparing for Khabib. Who did you bring out? What are you doing on a weekly basis between now and the fight?
Yeah, I don't, I didn't bring anybody else, necessarily specifically. I brought one guy out, Rafael Garcia. He fights for Combate. He's 12-0. Short little tank. He's definitely a good guy to have in. But Carrington Banks, Austin Hubbard. Carrington Banks has been definitely one of my main partners. He's super really good at wrestling, really good at wrestling in MMA, which is very different from wrestling. So, it's been great look. Very Taiwan Claxton's back in here. He's, a lot, I would say, smaller, not as strong as Khabib would ever be, but, he's incredibly fast and he's a great wrestler. So, a lot of the upper body, body lock stuff, I'm able to train with him. But a lot of it is running, a lot of running. My legs got to be ready for 25 minutes of wrestling. I wrestle, twice a week. I got my coach Ben Charrington coming in. I was having Ryan Deacon, who's one of the best wrestlers in the country, moving back to school now. So I got Carrington Banks, Taiwan Claxton, Archie Colgan, just three. Banks likes to say he's the same age as me, but he gets up and down like he's in his 20s still. So I call him a kid. Yeah. Just three kids really, trading in and out on me. They get a break. I get no break. I hate it. But it's only an hour, so I push it. Thursdays is the really tough one. I spar Tuesday, Friday, got strength conditioning with Landau on Monday, Wednesday. Try to golf at least once during the week. And then a lot of running. Red Rocks on Saturday, sprints on Tuesday after sparring.
Yep.
A lot of eating the right things, coming home, playing video games, staying off my feet. A lot of those things. It's only 2 or 3 hours a day. I'm not training more than 3 hours a day like I ever have. I got to be the perfect me. So that's what I do.
That wrestling work that you're doing, I mean, obviously it sounds like the intensity level is off the charts and you're facing, younger guys and they're coming in fresh and you're working yourself to exhaustion. Do you feel like it's similar to like the style? Like what's different between the wrestling that you're facing on a daily basis here? And do you feel like you have an idea of exactly what Khabib is going to feel like, or is that just like a big unknown to you at this point going into the fight?
I've wrestled my whole life. I've wrestled a lot of different type of people. He's going to be incredibly strong. Similar to like when Ryan Deacon would grab me, and I couldn't get away. But, it's a we're fighting at a much different range than what you wrestle at. And in order to get your hands on me, you have to extend yourself. And I get to punch you now and kick you and knee you. So I get to cause damage, that I couldn't cause against people that were, more technically sound than me. I think he'll be more technically sound in certain areas. I think when he gets on top, I will have an extremely hard time getting back up because, the way that he carries his weight, the way he covers you, he's not necessarily working like super hard. He's just constantly making you readjust, so that you can't ever get up. You just got to readjust your base, much less get up. I think I've been preparing for this my whole life. I think I've felt what he's going to feel like multiple times. And a lot of those times I was not able to come out on top. But again, I didn't get to punch those people. I didn't get to knee those people. And I didn't have the ability to, in wrestling, you move forward and you constantly are engaging. Now it's a different game. It's a different game we're playing. I'm constant what you face. But, if you go back to some of my fights and you watch why I was so, I guess, effective versus Donald Cerrone or Edson Barboza, even James Vick, and certainly against Ferguson, that my ability with my feet to control distance is second to none. And, you've never really seen it. It's not even being analyzed because it's not something that has ever been used as a method, I guess. But Trevor's been working with me on this, on how to use my feet to get to a certain distance and stay off the fence, never going straight backwards, always moving to the side, constantly shifting and changing levels to make them reset so I can move one way or the other. I have to stay off the fence. If I'm on the fence, then I lost. Yeah. But if I have a really, really good belief that he's going to have a really hard time to put me on the fence, and I know I'm going to see his blood. So I want him to see his blood, and I want to see his reaction.
What do you think his reaction will be? I'm putting you on the spot here, but what do you think? How do you think he'll react?
I don't know. I don't think he's as crazy as me. That's the thing. I think he's crazy, and I think he loves competition, but I don't think he's quite as crazy as me. And he hasn't seen his blood very many times, I'm sure.
Mm.
his style of fighting is not something where you are looking for blood, or anything like that. It's never even. I bet that doesn't even cross his mind whether he's going to see his own blood or not see his own blood. Like that's never been a factor for him. I remember getting cut, and I remember my specific thought first time I got caught was like, "Holy!" I felt like an ice cube just slid off my just how there was absolutely not a sense of pain or anything,
Yeah.
and then I felt something drip down my face. I thought it was sweat, and I enjoyed it. I remember my coaches were freaking out, and I was laying down, and I was like, "How bad is it?" And they all remember that story specifically, and I remember that too. They're like, "Get up," and I was like, "Give me a second." I'm dead ass tired right now. So, I don't think he's as crazy as me, and I'm not sure what it'll be, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna freak out a little bit.
Huh. Yeah, I bet Trevor is having the time of his life right now. Just knowing Trevor and being able to game plan for a guy who's undefeated. And his big thing is that he likes to watch people chase their dreams. And this is obviously like a dream chasing fight for you. I mean,
Yeah.
how has Trevor been in the camp and has, he's kind of known. I mean, your guys is like you'll have a 5-second conversation in between rounds and people go crazy about it because it's such a great conversation. What kind of conversations are you having during this camp, leading up to this fight?
So, like a lot of everything you see in the cage, of us talking like that, like we don't have, we have that. I always have that respect for him. He always has that respect for me, but we don't necessarily have those conversations. Like that was the first time we ever had those conversations. And that's, that will be the last time until the next fight.
No.
We don't I don't do a lot of analyzing. I don't analyze what he's teaching me. I don't analyze, his methods because for me, since I was 4, it's been just to show up and put the work in and listen to the people that I'm supposed to listen to. And he's that person right now. So, since day one, this is a dream making opportunity for me, but for him too, like what he's been able to accomplish with me is pretty special. A lot of people when I win this belt, it will be almost unfathomable to, you'll go back 2 years in the past and tell people that this is occurring, and it's almost, they would not be able to believe it because,
Yep.
for one, the method to my madness was not what it is now. And, I never knew that Trevor was going to be so effective. So, yeah, I mean, it is crazy to see, when it's all done. Every time I fight, I come home and I watch it. I go back and I think of what we worked on and how it kind of transpired in the fight and how it came to fruition. But I've never thought about it before. We're not having these conversations right now. It's just he's showing me. I don't even know what he's showing me. He just teaches. We're working on something. I know that we're working on something, and I know that it's bringing a lot of danger to a specific area. That people have to enter to take me down. So yeah, he's a genius, and I can't wait to put in the work.
When I look at this fight, and I think a lot of people are going to be saying this as it comes up, is that Justin is one of, if not the best wrestlers that Khabib has ever faced, and Khabib does have to be careful when he gets inside, like he can't get clipped. But one thing that I don't think I've seen a lot of people talk about yet is how comfortable is Justin off his back. If Khabib is able to take him down, then what does it look like? And I gotta be honest, I don't really know the answer to that, because have you ever really been forced to fight off your back? I'm trying to think back over the course of your career, and it's just something we haven't seen a whole lot of. So I guess, how much have you been forced to do it? And is that something that you're looking at? Because obviously if you're fighting Khabib, you want to be comfortable if he does, in the event that he does take you down.
Yeah. Since I was 4 years old, I can promise you that the only thing that I have strived for every day is to never be held down on my back. As a wrestler, you can't even rest on your back. If you were resting and laying on your back, it was 50 push-ups. Every single time your back touched the mat, 50 push-ups. I've been working for this my whole life. He's never faced a wrestler like me. He's also never faced somebody that's been working as hard or as long as he has. There's not a, he hasn't, there's no possible way he's worked harder or longer than me because we're the same age. He could, I'm sure it's the same, but it's not more. And, I'm very confident in that regard. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm not great off my back. no wrestler's great off their back because we don't go there. I'm planning and counting on him not being able to get me there.
Mm-hmm. You know, when you're going through these tough days in camp, how much does the money motivate you? I mean, I know you're fighting for glory, you're fighting to be a lightweight champion, you're fighting for your family, you're fighing for all of that. But do you think about the money? Do you think about like this is an opportunity to change your life in terms of that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so with my family, with my life, with everything, you know, there's different kinds of wealth, and with the win here, I have a very good opportunity. You say generational wealth. It wouldn't be necessarily generational wealth, but it'd be a generation worth of wealth.
Yeah.
So that's something. As soon as I win, I'm gonna get on the mic. My mom, whether I win or lose, I'm gonna have my mom call her boss and tell her she's retiring. She's got 2 years left. I think she loses like 2% if she retires right now. So I'm, most certainly going to supplement that. So whether I win or lose, I get to do that. I'm very happy and proud of that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. I guess I was. I'm more aware now than I was when I fought Tony of what would transpire if I won there.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't think of having that opportunity, and then I did not think I would win, but I never think I'm going to win. I always think that I'm going to have a great fight, and try my best.
Yeah.
And, when I won that fight, that set this up. So that was huge. And this would be tenfold.
Well, yeah, I think it'd be naive of us to think that, like, you guys as athletes, we want you to be competitive. We want you to just go in there and fight and not think about the money. But it's like any of us, and whatever we do for a livelihood, we're thinking about like, oh, I could get a raise here, I could get a raise here. If you beat Khabib, you're the lightweight champion. You're coming off of a win against an undefeated guy who looked invincible, and you're holding something that Conor McGregor, the biggest star in the sport, really wants. I've heard you say that you have 2 fights left on your contract, so you'd be sitting in that situation with 1 fight left on your deal. I mean, if you win this fight, what do you think the difference is financially, just for the rest of your life, between a win and a loss in this fight?
I mean, that's a lot of pressure to think about, but it's huge, man. It really is. It's, huge. Not just, there's a certain amount of money I think one needs to attain in order to in order to have the opportunity to grow exponentially, financially. And I think a win over Khabib gives me that. And, if I make the right decisions after that, that's a lot of different factors. But I do think win here, even now, I've done pretty good. If I die tomorrow, or hopefully not tomorrow, if I die on October 27th, I will have already fought. My parents, would get, a couple mil. So I would be super happy about that. Be heartbroken for them because they don't want to lose a son early. But, I don't have kids. So right now, like, this is pretty cool. I feel pretty accomplished with that. I would be happy with just that. So.
Yeah, and that's awesome. That's awesome that you're paying for your mother's retirement on October 24th. That has got to be a great feeling. Postal Service, right? That's where she works?
Yeah. I'm trying to get her. I want her to go. I want her to do the election because we need that. But she's got to go before Christmas, dude. They're killing her.
Yeah. I remember after you beat Tony, one of the big storylines was that Conor wanted to fight you, and you said, absolutely not. I'm fighting Khabib next. But I did want to ask you, like, did it ever come to a head where, like, you actually had to turn that fight down? Like, was there a moment where the UFC was like, hey, we'll put this fight together, or did you just so quickly put it out there that you didn't want it, that it never really?
I think it was the latter. I think it was there. Like, if there was any sort of interest on my part, I think they would have tried to make it. But financially, this, it's a lot. It's a big gamble. It's a lot more risky. But this is the goal to a lot of wealth. Not just wealth, which is not the most important. The legacy, that's what I'm most excited for this opportunity. I've watched this sport for a long time. I went, from Tito Ortiz, when Tito Ortiz was freaking champion back in the early 2000s. Chuck Liddell was coming through, Randy Couture, all those guys. I truly think that if I could beat Khabib and then beat Conor, that I will have cemented like something that is almost unmatched. Even through all those names that I just named, Anderson Silva, I wouldn't have matched his title reign. That title reign is something unmatched, unless you're John Jones, which he surpassed that already. But I don't know where I was going with that.
But no, in two fights, you can basically kind of match what Anderson did over the course of like 10.
Yeah. But no, I mean, in a different regard, it'll be much bigger. Like Khabib is the number one pound for pound list, and you have to put it in context.
We've been talking about your family a little bit. I assume that your brother will be there in your corner, right?
Yeah, he'll be.
Anybody else? Can anybody make it?
No, I can't get nobody in, dude. It's crazy.
Huh.
I need to just get him some press passes or something.
Yeah. Did you try? You made an effort to get him over there?
I guess. I mean, my manager did.
Yeah.
I should call Dana probably.
There's no dice, huh?
I mean, sitting right next to Dana on stage, and I didn't say anything. My mom was like, "You better say something," and I totally forgot.
Yeah, well, Khabib is kind of known not for having a huge entourage, but he's got his team. He's got his group of guys.
Oh, believe me.
Yeah, which I don't blame you for. Well, we'll get you out of here with this, man, because I know you're busy, and we appreciate the time. When you're standing in that locker room warming up, and you're about to go out and make the walk, and then wait for Khabib to come out and meet you, what do you think will be going through your mind? Like, can you put it into words for us? What it feels like to stand in the locker room right before a title fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov on a fight island? I know you haven't lived it yet, but what do you think you feel like, and what's going to be going through your mind?
So my feeling would be, absolutely foreign to 99.999% of people, on this planet. I know that I will be, incredibly happy. I'll feel like a really dangerous man. There's a special feeling, that I get, and feel whenever I'm about to go fight, and it's, very destructive. I don't know what it is. I try not to touch any of my coaches, because if I do, it's definitely hurting them. Just even warming up, I'll even just throw a leg kick on. Actually, I kicked my coach Ben last time, and I don't know. But man, like the peace, I'm so peaceful, so peaceful. Like it's as if, I guess, I don't know, this is the only place on earth, and nothing else is going on outside of this, because nothing matters. Literally nothing. So yeah, it's peaceful. It's very peaceful. Know that no matter what carnage I'm going to, inflict or have inflicted on me, that I just came from a very peaceful place.
Fascinating to listen to, man. I love watching you fight. Love talking to you about fighting. And we'll let you get to practice. Good luck in the rest of your camp, and can't wait for the fight, man. Safe travel.
Oh,